the final game in our preview. We promised all the Arizona State fans will get to it, and here it is right here. Houston at number 24, Arizona State, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN2. This is a massive game for the Big 12 race. So both BYU and Cincinnati sit atop the conference right now with a 4-0 conference records this year, but Houston and Arizona State are not far behind right now with a 3-1 conference record themselves, tied with Texas Tech right now for third place in the Big 12. Since BYU and Cincinnati play each other later on in the year, it is quite literally impossible for the Big 12 title game to feature those two teams with undefeated records on the season. So this game between Arizona State and Houston could be pivotal in deciding who goes to Dallas for the Big 12 title game in December.
And interesting with Houston, they don't play either of those teams. Their last four after this are West Virginia, UCF, TCU, Baylor. Houston wins this game. All of a sudden, we're talking about something real special happening down there with Willie Fritz's team. Now, this, I think, very much like BYU, as we've been getting the progressive kind of step-by-step. Are they for real? Are they for real? They get a little more real, right? Like BYU moving a step up each week. Kind of been the same way with Houston. They beat Colorado pretty convincingly. All right, cool, but Colorado's not as good this year. They got beat up by Texas Tech. A lot of teams have been doing that. Not Arizona State, but a lot of teams have. Beat Oklahoma State. All right, whatever. Beat Arizona last week in a close game. Arizona's a little better than the rest of those. It's the same way with BYU when they beat Arizona. I was like, okay, that's something. We're moving forward. Now's the game. This is the prove-it game for Houston where you go, okay, you beat this team. You beat last year's Big 12 champ, and you prove you're good enough to do that. Oh, we're onto something because the stretch run, they already lost to Texas Tech is what it is. But you beat that team. You don't play BYU. You don't play Cincy. You don't play Iowa State. There's a road here for Houston. But this is the game. You want to prove you're a big-time contender in the Big 12, this is the game to prove it.
So you have the Arizona State offense in this game with Sam Levitt and hopefully Jordan Tyson, who, of course, got hurt last week, but he should be able to go this week. What should we know, though, about the Arizona State offense in this game?
Okay, so I'm sure Drake Holiday and the rest of our Sun Devil fans are sick of me saying this, but they need to run the football. Okay, last week was the week where, yes, it was just going to be Sam Levitt, Jordan Tyson heroics, and great defense that needed to get you through a game against a team like Texas Tech, right? Because they just weren't going to walk in there and run the football very well in that front seven. Texas Tech has an elite front seven. This game now, what they need to do not get arrogant and just let Sam Levitt take the game over and do all the things that he can do, but also can be inconsistent and put the ball in danger a little bit and all of that, right? Like, just don't force it, right? And against this Houston defense, really do not force it. It's a ton of zone coverage. It's a lot of zone blitzing like we talked about with Oklahoma earlier, or a team like Indiana as well. They are very, very good at keeping things in front of them and keeping themselves in ball games. That's just what they're good at on defense. Solid run defense across the board, pretty much top 25 in every metric I have. But Arizona State has to get back to, okay, deep breath. We found a way to beat Texas Tech for as weird and wacky as it was. We got to get back to the base of this. 12 personnel, run the football. Raleek Brown, to me, yes, Levitt and Tyson are their two best players. Raleek Brown is their most important player. Get him going, even against Texas Tech. 16 carries, 69 yards, and a touchdown. Did his job. This guy is the engine. 83.9 rushing grade, 642 rushing yards, and he got a little bit of a late start before they made him the feature back. 39 missed tackles forced, 20 explosive runs. When you watch this team, it may not be as pretty as it was last year, although there is some irony to this Arizona State team where last year they lost a game with Sam Levitt hurt and Jeff Sims starting, and then they got raging hot down the stretch. This year they lose a game to Utah with Sam Levitt out, Jeff Sims in, lose to Utah, come back and beat who we thought was the best team in the Big 12. Are they going to get raging hot like that again? I still think they need to get back to the foundation and running the football. Raleek Brown, especially with Houston and their ability to limit big plays in the passing game. Raleek Brown has to have a big day. I need at least 100 or 120 out of him. And then Sam Levitt running the football too, because Levitt and Tyson haven't been quite as efficient against zone coverage, because I get it. You get a one-on-one, yeah, you're throwing it to Jordan Tyson. I would too. But you get all these zone looks and all the sitting back that Houston does. They really make you play in the box. I think Arizona State has to embrace that and run the football.
Yeah, a lot of the Arizona State fans in the chat right now are agreeing with you that Malik Brown is going to be huge in this game for the Sun Devils.
If they come out, if Arizona State comes out and they think, oh, we beat Texas Tech and Sam had the heroics at the end and we're going to throw it 45, 50 times, they come out like that, they're going to lose.
Yeah.
Because this Houston secondary and just the way that they play defense, just team football on defense, and especially the back end of it, they keep everything in front of them. Everything. That's just how this Willie Fritz defense were. A lot of cover 3, a lot of cover 4, sitting back the same way we've talked about Mississippi State getting better. This Houston team's the same way. They keep everything in front of them.
Yeah, Houston's 18th right now in coverage grade this year at 90.7 this season. They are not as good with their offensive line, Dalton, which is what I'm looking at right now. Can Houston's offensive line give Connor Wigman time to operate in this game? There's no getting around it. The Cougars have had one of the worst offensive lines in college football this year. They have the worst pass blocking grade in the Power 4, the third worst pass blocking grade in the country this year. Only a 30.3 pass blocking grade as a team this season. So it's been a major struggle for Houston protecting the quarterback right now. 42% pressure rate allowed is the 8th worst mark in the country. And Connor Wigman is not very good under pressure. 90th in America right now with a 47.3 passing grade under duress this year. But also, Arizona State's pass rush has not been that effective either. They're right now 111th in pressure rate in the country this year at about 28%. Making matters worse potentially is that their best pass rusher, Prince Dorba, the edge rusher, he is questionable this week because he was knocked out of the game against Texas Tech last week with an injury. Now, there are some people in the chat saying that he is practicing right now, so hopefully he does play in this game. But if Prince Dorba does not play against Houston, that's even worse for Arizona State, who has, again, like I mentioned before, 111th in pressure rate with Prince Dorba. If he's out, your best pass rusher, that's even worse for a Houston team that you really want to get after Connor Wigman with how bad that offensive line is.
Yeah, for sure. There's an opportunity to, if you can, first of all, you have to get Houston into those situations where Wigman has to throw the football, right? And that starts with stopping Dean Connors in the run game. So again, Keyshawn Elliott, Jordan Crook, and these linebackers, that's going to be a big thing, is tackling Dean Connors, limiting yards after contact. Then the next step is you get Wigman into 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, you make him throw the football. This Houston passing offense has gotten better as the year has gone on when Wigman is protected. Why? They already had Tanner Koziol, I think an NFL tight end very soon, and the emergence on the outside of Amari Thomas as a big play threat at wide receiver. The first couple games, they really didn't have this. They didn't have that guy on the outside that could win. It was really centered around Koziol. Now that Amari Thomas has become a dangerous threat, I think you have a really fun matchup on the outside. Those times when you get him against Keith Abney, the star corner for Arizona State, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch those two go at it, especially with Thomas's ability. We've seen it in multiple games now. Home run ability to win. That's what Houston was missing. Now it's about, to me, keeping Wigman in two-dimensional situations. Run the football early. Who's going to win that battle on first down of him? And Wigman can run the ball too. He's a big part of that as well. But Dean Connors, Connor Wigman running the ball. Is Houston going to be in good down and distance situations? Or are they going to be in situations where that offensive line is vulnerable because they are not a good pass-protecting team?
So ultimately, Dalton, what could be a huge, huge game for the Big 12 race right here? Who's going to win between Arizona State and Houston?
This is a sneaky one. This is really sneaky because Houston's defense is really good. I'm going to tell you right now, that's really the heart and soul of this team first and foremost, is their defense and just their ability to stay in games. And look, their defense made enough stops last week, late in the game especially, to come back on Arizona and find a way to win that game. That was big time. I think this is going to be close. I think this is maybe even going to be more hard fought than some Arizona State fans are expecting, especially coming off. Don't have a letdown now after last week. It's a huge win last week. This is just as big a game this week. This team is what, 6-1? Houston is. They're already 6-1. Big time defense. Wigman running, Connors running, big deal. Whoever runs the football well is going to win this game. I'm going to take Arizona State 23-20 as the home team, but I'll be honest, I'm worried about it. I'm worried because this Houston defense, if you force it into the teeth of this defense, especially, when Levitt sometimes he can get risky with the football, no question. And, he's great outside the pocket, but you're going to get all zone coverage in this game, so it's not going to be quite as easy for him to take off and run. I think it's a dangerous game. I think Malik Brown and Jordan Tyson make enough plays for Arizona State, especially as the home team. If they were on the road, I might pick Houston in this game. I think it's a very dangerous game because Houston's defense is really good.
Yeah, I think it could be a slugfest. And I have it 24-23, Arizona State winning 2. This game, I think, will be closer than the 7.5 point spread that they have right now. And I think both defenses might have the upper hand in this game. In what could be a slugfest, I do trust Sam Levitt and Jordan Tyson and Raleek Brown to make enough plays to ultimately pull out the win, more so than the Houston offense with Connor Wigman right now. So I trust them a little bit more, which is why I picked Arizona State at home, as well as a big factor for me too. But like you mentioned, Dalton, this is really like a 50-50 ball game for me. I think Arizona's going to win, but by 1 point.
I think a big factor last week, too, because we talked so much about the big names, those 3 guys for Arizona State. Getting those couple of big plays that they did last week from Jaron Hamilton, and at least to have one more guy that defenses need to be aware of, that's big. Because when you're playing a zone team like Houston like this, if you only have one threat like Jordan Tyson, all the eyes are going that way.
And we'll see if Jordan Tyson with the injury, too, how effective he'll be.
Also true, yeah. The hammy was tightened up. He was tightened up on him last week a little bit late. He made it through, but it's also a thing to watch. And I think that's a guy too, Jaron Hamilton. Maybe that's a guy who emerges because we've been looking for a second threat. Or when is Jalen Moss going to get in and do some things for us? I think that's what you're really looking for. If all the eyes are on, think about it as a bigger example, but think about Ohio State and the year Carnell Tate's having. And they've talked about it out loud. Look, everybody's looking at Jeremiah Smith. Now we get Carnell Tate emerging. I think it's a big reason they won that Texas game last year because you had Carnell Tate and Emeka Egbuka really had big days in that game, right? You play these zone defenses, they're able to get multiple guys keying in on your number one threat. Somebody else for at least even 3 plays like Jaron Hamilton last week. You're going to need that in this game. This is going to be a tough one.
So we both have Arizona State winning, and that wraps up our Week 9 preview show.